Time now for the heat index and this morning's hot button. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg announcing that he and wife Dr. Priscilla Chan are expecting their first child in a very revealing post, sharing with the world that they suffered through 3 miscarriages. There's been a huge social response, including many GMA viewers sharing their own stories. And ABC's Deborah Roberts has the story.
It's a Facebook post that has struck an emotional nerve all around the world. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg and wife Priscilla opening up about their emotional struggle to have a baby. Zuckerberg announcing the exciting news, we're expecting a baby girl, but also detailing the heartbreak leading up to it, saying, we've been trying to have a child for a couple of years and have had 3 miscarriages along the way. Most people don't discuss miscarriages because you worry your problems will distance you or reflect upon you, so you struggle on your own. In fact, an estimated 10 to 25% of pregnancies end in miscarriage. I know that pain, having miscarried just before the birth of my first child. Mama! And Jessica Zucker, a mom of 2, can relate as well.
And at 16 weeks pregnant, I miscarried. It went from horror to almost more horror to fear of losing my life. And just then I lost this life, this daughter that I will never know.
As a clinical psychologist specializes in women's reproductive health, Jessica's life work prepared her for her greatest personal struggle.
Talking about pregnancy loss is incredibly important with regard to not feeling alone, not feeling isolated. It's important to know that you can reach out to people at any time.
Which may explain why the words of one of the world's most famous CEOs are resonating across the globe. Adding about his expected new baby, in our ultrasound, she even gave me a thumbs up, like, with her hand. So I'm already convinced she takes after me.
Such good news for Zuckerberg and Chan, who apparently must be in their 2nd trimester of pregnancy, because he said they're far enough along now that they feel that pretty confident that the risk of miscarriage is pretty low. So many of us applauding them for speaking out. I have to admit, folks, that I don't even talk to friends. I have many friends and family members who probably never knew that I suffered a miscarriage because there is so much pain. And as Zuckerberg said, even a certain amount of stigma attached to it. People are uncomfortable, and then you become uncomfortable and you don't share.
But when you hear someone else has gone through it too, suddenly you feel connected and it feels better.
Opening up, I think, makes a big difference for so many people because it happens to so many women.
Thank you for doing that, Deborah. Appreciate it. We have Dr. Jen Ashton here with us now and talk a little bit about how isolating it is and why it's something people keep to themselves.
Well, I think the reason this has struck such a chord is because it's relatable. This is the pregnancy news that people just don't want to talk about, and the emotions that are experienced really run the gamut from shame, blame, guilt, fear, anger, and that affects the husband and spouse as much as it does the woman, and I think that's why it's really resonating.
Compounded by the fact that the cause is often a mystery.
Exactly. So we say that by far and away the most common cause of miscarriage is unexplained, but then there's a whole litany of other causes that include chromosomal or genetic factors. There's anatomic factors, or a presence of a septum or maybe a fibroid in the uterus, hormonal issues like thyroid dysfunction or even diabetes, and autoimmune function. So this is a long list, but when it's happening to you, you don't want to hear this is common.
How common are recurring miscarriages of the variety that we've seen with the Zuckerberg?
So single miscarriages affect about 15 to 20% of women, Dan, but RPL, or recurrent pregnancy loss, is a much different category. It used to be 3 losses before 20 weeks. Now that definition has changed. It's now characterized as 2 losses before 20 weeks. And it's important to realize this is not the run-of-the-mill infertility. We're not saying it's better or worse. It's different medically and it's different emotionally. So it's so important for women who have had 2 losses, see a specialist in reproductive endocrinology and infertility. And there is hope and good news, you guys, because more than 60% of people who have suffered 2 or more losses will eventually have a healthy pregnancy.
It looks like they are.
Exactly.
All right. Dr. Ashton, thank you. And you'll be taking questions. I'm sure there are many out there on Twitter throughout the morning. So tweet her at Dr. J. Ashton.